is right, I'm scared to death. Scared of your eyes, looking into my eyes. Scared that I'll back out and hold my breath. Wake up one morning and see your face, I can feel it coming back. These shivers are every day. Whoa, I say it's over, I get out of bed and leave, yeah. Just like that, I got the shivers. Whenever I would think about you, now that I left, I live without you. I'm on my own again. I got the shivers. Whenever you went out of line, yeah. Now it's like everything is fine, yeah. 'Cause now I'm alone again.
To strike.
I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
Flew over the clouds at night, was born to fight. Mythical, so mystical, think what you like. You could be the sword, the shield, defender of the people down below. You know I fall for love. You know I fall for love. You know I fall for love. Be kind to those around you, don't be merciless. Remember me, for my name is Perseus. Perseus. My name is Perseus.
Okay, it works. Welcome everybody for this evening race. We are here in Indianapolis, and as I'm noticing, this one is not working, and this one is not working, or rather, this is working. It's just wrongfully applied. And 1 and 2. Okay, it works. Welcome everybody to tonight's round 3 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We go in the possibly one of the most famous ovals in the world, tied to Daytona, of which there has been a certain 24-hour event the week that just passed. And here we are in the second, or rather, one of the most famous oval tracks in the world. In this session tonight, there are both the silver and the pro drivers to effectively have a better amount of drivers. Something is connected, I'm not really sure what. And we use in the game the older version of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. In today's day we go across the chicane around there. Quite famous is what happened in NASCAR a couple of years ago when they started using it. As you can see, also the drivers are starting to appear on screen. The name of the turns are actually quite easy because none of them has a name. All of those are with numbers, so it's going to be quite easy to put forward which turn it is. The track is one of the most, I won't say tricky, because that's definitely not tricky, but not really one of the most popular nor loved ones, because of its tendency to be rather slowish and not really prone to overtakes. The most famous part is the banking here, just by approaching turn 12. The only effective chance to make an overtake is around here and into turn 1 after the long straight that goes over the bricks, the effective original bricks from the brickyard, the name of the track, the unofficial name rather, but the effective name when it comes to the Indy 500, with the tower rising over here to the very top of the track. There is some wind, very tiny bit of it, maybe not. Track is currently 19 degrees in the air and 26 on the tarmac, and the first drivers are starting to appear on the screen to your left. It is Julian Smith going into turn 1. We can go for a lap with him. Turn 1 and then 2 over the curb on the inside. Try to go on the outside as much as possible. There is a pro on the track. That's not what should happen, as he has to stop because he is not in the same session as the other drivers. But anyway, left side here and then back to the right. It's a very tricky one, this turn here, because you have to stay on the outside and cut extremely on the inside. You try to brake around here between the first and second board. A bit too wide there for Smith. In fact, has been disqualified, I guess. Yeah, Canabera has been disqualified, as a matter of fact. And then into the right-hander, over the banking, over turn 11. Then you brake at the 200 mark, or rather 150 if you really want to brake hard. And you go over the finish line. This one here is a bit taken slowly, as you have to stay more on the left than Smith just did. You have to stay extremely to the left to have a better exit over the finish line, to gain some more momentum over the straight. For now, Kotke is in the very lead of the race, of the qualifying session. With Sberla just behind and Brown following 2 times away. The moment Longden is submitting a good improvement on his time, as the Porsche 992 is currently going half a second better than Longden's last lap being submitted, but there is still half a lap to be made, and I think I crashed for a moment. Don't know what happened, but nothing happened, rather. So into the SS, a bit of a rear shift for the number 3 to 8. Cutting the curb there, you can cut extremely. The track limit is very wide in that section. With the banking, a bit too much wide, a couple of tens of centimeters too wide, but nothing too much to worry about. And then you have to stay a bit more wide there, otherwise you don't really have the momentum. But Angelo then goes over the line and effectively puts the best lap. Okay, that's a first. Tied actually with Kotke. 1:45.687, literally the same exact lap time, but Kotke will be ahead for the moment, since he made the lap earlier than Longden, as the track technically gets better and better as the time passes. So whoever puts the lap earlier gets the spot to the other. For now, Kotka is not improving, but certainly is not Longden, and certainly is Brown, which is improving extremely well on the Aston Martin number 738. It was 4 times earlier on. It dropped to 2 over the bricks, but nevertheless it will be an improvement, and in fact it is an improvement by 4 places, and he goes in the top of the qualifying session by 10 milliseconds over the other 2 drivers, gapped by basically a gear shift, not even. Few improvements are still on the way. There is Novak that goes across the line, and from 11th he goes in 8th place, 3 times away from Brown in the lead. There's also Gallamini, the 777 goes across the line and improves by 3 places. 12th place for the Italian in the 777. Osorio is definitely on point over there. He's going to be 3 times away from the pole, but he may as well make a leap into the very first places of his class. Remember that the two classes will effectively be in the same race, but will not really count towards the an overall leaderboard. The two classes will be differentiated in the leaderboard, and Osorio in fact goes in pole in class, 1:45.587 for the Portuguese driver, 65 milliseconds ahead of Longden. Still has a chance as the 10th minute starts now. So this means the pro driver can go off over the tarmac. Osorio barely made it over the line. That's extremely wide by Longden. In fact, he lost the very tiny bit of improvement he had in hand. And that Longden was effectively tied with Kotka. But he made an improvement the lap earlier, but not this time around, and in fact he will complete the qualifying session in 2nd place in class, leaving without too much doubt Osorio in the very lead, as Smith goes 88 milliseconds slower than Osorio. 3rd place for the 990, and Krishna makes an improvement in the number 14 in 7th place now with Jabudal. The 531 McLaren coming across the final corner, which is actually a very long turn, not really a corner, and his 2 tenths of improvement makes him into 6th place. A very compact qualifying for the top 8. Yeah, for the top 8, 3 times only are the difference between Osorio and Schneider in 8th place, so very compact there. Scanabera has been okay, I can't speak apparently, has been oh, okay. Apparently Gallamini was over the 10th minute mark, clearly, since it's 8 minutes and he still wasn't across the line. So I really suspect he did cross the line before the 10-minute mark, after the 10-minute mark was shown, and as such he has been disqualified from the session for the moment. It's not like he has been completely banned from the race. He just has to rejoin after just rejoining. Nothing really too much to worry about, as Canabeira is now back into the qualifying session. But the first laps will be made by, I think Canabeira is effectively the first one. Yes it is, okay, definitely. So the 193 goes across the line for first time, starting the lap now. As Wegman, oh wait, I think I actually missed, yes, definitely, okay, Canabeira so exited later on, so it was actually Wegman that made the first or the fastest lap times, but Keenan steals the place instantly and goes nearly 6 times quicker than Wegman, already putting the Lamborghini Evo 2 in first place in a 1:34.947. Ulrich goes in 3rd place at the moment in the BMW number 41. Remember when it goes into the pits, something is clearly wrong in the setup of the car. With Garby that sits in 11th for now. Benjamin Eck in the number 51 is in 2nd place now, with Thomas Nopek in 13th place, the number 48 BMW. Still improving massively for now. 2 times is his current improvement on the line of the track limits. That was a bit too much wide. In fact, he lost a tiny bit of time because of that. And his improvement for now sits a bit lower. Just a good cut into the chicane. With Garby that now sits in 3rd place, half a second below Keenan. But for now, Eck will score a very good lap time. As a matter of fact, although a mistake has been made earlier on, it's still going to be a very good improvement for the Swedish driver as he goes a 10th and a half quicker and takes the lead of the qualifying session for now. A few names are still interested, let's say, on the qualifying matter. Kieran is clearly one of them. For now, 3 times and a half is his improvement. Going between 2 cars that were starting a lap. It was the Porsche of Gallo, and I can't really pinpoint who the other car was. That may have had an impact since his improvement has slowed down a bit, but it's still going to be a very good improvement since he goes quicker than anybody else, 25 milliseconds quicker than Eck, and 34.7 is the new benchmark that has been applied. Garby now is in 1st place, going over the straight. That's extremely too much wide. In fact, he lost a whole bunch of time. With the first curve, left, then right, and then left, and then right again, it will be. Ooh, the rear wasn't really happy about that. Yeah, in fact, he will go slower now, trying to put back the tires in temperature and go for another run. He still has 2 shots, I think. With 30 seconds to go, yeah, definitely he has 2 shots. He has to make them count, since the lead of the qualifying session is 3 times away. Ulrich for now just 6 times away, is in 5th place, just in front of the pole sitter in silver class. It's going to be an improvement. Not a great one, since he stays in 5th place. Compared to Wegman, that was improving by a good chunk of time. the improvement actually disappeared. And while I was looking there, Ek made the new benchmark by 3 milliseconds only, 44.7. It was on the very last moment, since he was clearly below, and it seems like he just found that tiny bit that put him in the very lead. Number 221 here in the McLaren goes across the line and very wide there. In fact, he lost a tiny bit of time there, and he still improves by a position. And I don't think he's okay. Yes, he doesn't have another shot. This will be his qualifying session for third place for Garby, with Keenan that is now back in the very lead by 2.5 tenths, 34.5 for the Irish driver, submitting a point in the sentence and transferring the discussion to the hour-long race. Chunky improvement for Zach Dahl, for now half a second quicker. Oh, nearly 7. Goes back to 6, but it will definitely help him since he goes in 5th place. Half a second away from Keenan. But that definitely was a very good lap time for Zagdal. A couple of drivers remain on a valid lap, but I'm not seeing any effective improvement. So Keenan will be the pole sitter for tonight's race, with Egg following behind, but we will go for the usual grid walk as always, a bit longer this time around. So that was the qualifying session for tonight's race, but I want to go here, and then here, and then here, then here, and then here. One too many? Okay. I also need this. Otherwise it becomes a little bit difficult for me to know where I'm going. So, here we are for the very lengthy grid for tonight's race. But from top to bottom we have to the left Keenan and to the right Eck. Then we have Melker Garby and Thomas. Why did I click? What was it? I want to say top one, but I did things and everything is now lagging. Great. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're back here. I will not touch anything this time around. Bergman in 4th place with Zakdal in 5th and Nopek in 6th place. Then Ulrich in BMW number 41. Alves number 8 in 8th place with Osorio in 9th. Canavera in 10th. Longden, then Gallo in the Porsche to the right. Then Smith, Brown, Kotke, Jaural, Sbella, Olesny in the Porsche 15. With Giovannini and Canton following. Christian Heider, then Novak, Van Horn in the 13, Aston Martin with Gibbons and Sanchez in the 73 Porsche. Then we have Robinson, Galamini, May, Woodward with Jones, Tremelin, Vergoe, Besana, Ramazzotti in 44th place in the 92 McLaren here with Parks, Bademsi and then Lenches, completing your starting grid. We go back to the very lead. Here, very quick all-rounder for the drivers. We start our... Oh wait, maybe here it's better. Yes, on the splitter cam. Bit of a tour of the track. So practically it's the usual. So after a very long straight with the limiter that gets hit earlier than the braking spot appears, you go to the right, 90-degree angle corner for you, to the right, and then a little bit of a turn to the left. You try to aim for this curve on the right, and then you automatically jump straight over here to the very left side. You don't really hit the curve on the right side, as you really want to carry the speed. This section is extremely fast. You usually brake 100 meters before the curve on the left to go to the stabilization section, which is not existing anymore even. After turn 7, where you can use the external parts as much as you want, since that's not really an enforced track limit. You have the back straight, as the number 8 had to go back to the pits, not really sure the reason there. Then it's a very long chicane, going right, left, to go over the oval. In 2012, over the banking. You really want to aim for the external part, around 150 meters before you have the marker, so it's not really nothing to worry too much about. This curve here on the right is extremely high, so you don't really want to try to cut it, otherwise you just jump. And that spot there will be the main host for some incidents, very likely, since a good amount of drivers usually try to go for a move there on the right and end up knowing why that move is not really recommended, let's say. Also, a drive through here lasts nearly an entire lap. It's a minute a drive through, so you really don't want to have that. But we are here for the round number 3 of the Pure Sim Gear GT3. And green light, and away we go with a very good start by the top 2. Not really the best of the history for the Mercedes behind, with a very good one by the BMW number 48, as Nopek goes to the very left side of your screen, which is the right side of the track. In fact, he tries to brake as late as possible. There is possibly a contact. In fact, there is a contact with Nopek that goes side by side with Garvey. A bit of a paint job discussion between the two, with Aston Martin off. Zach Daly goes into the outside and very bravely sticks to the idea and takes the place number 5 from Nopek, that really made a very good start earlier on. Oh, there is a car going wider. Was there? Think it was not. Okay, as Gallo is behind number 3 to 8 of long. There has been an incident earlier on. Oh, you can clearly see the frustration of having to fight with a silver driver, considering he's not really in the leaderboard, but he's still fighting for the overall position. And because having a buffer from behind is very good, but Brown goes to the outside and takes the place on Gallo. That's 11th place for Brown, which is 3rd in the silver. It is also the McLaren number 531 that was trying a move there, but couldn't make anything. Oh, number 15 is off. Yellow flag being shown, clear contact, another contact. That was a bit on him, as he tried to rejoin the track where there was any space available. And it's not like the Ferrari could disappear by anything else. As Keenan takes charge over Eck, who jumped the Irish driver at the very beginning of the race. It's Lamborghini against Lamborghini here, so the same machinery. Oh, Garvey goes extremely wide there. gets attacked by the Aston Martin. Oh, definitely attacks the Aston Martin physically though. But if everyone made a move, oh, there is the contact. In fact, actually goes a bit wide and possibly gets taken by the BMW behind. He made a move from the outside earlier on. Maybe it was better to stick to the outside idea since the inside idea has been closed by Garby. Nopek clearly wants back the place he lost at the very beginning. Oh, that's extremely wide on the grass. It doesn't lose too much time, but it definitely lost a bit of time from the driver ahead. As you can see, 6 times is now the gap between Garby and Zagdal, with just 4 from behind, even if Nopek made a bit of a mistake in the chicane section. So one definitely went wide over there, since half of the marker doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe the entirety of it. Brown for now is very close to Longden ahead. Two car lengths behind the 328 in second place in class. Overall it's the 10th. For now they stay one after the other. Something slightly different is the situation over here with Kotke getting attacked by Javudal for position number 14, which is the 15 class. But at the moment the situation stays as it is, with the two drivers maintaining 14th and 15th place. Up ahead is Wegman that goes faster than anybody else with a 35.5. And Olesny is already into the pits, possibly to repair the damage. Something may happen here, but definitely something will happen here since Garby lost completely the gap to Wegman, and he is now getting heavily attacked by Zagdal behind. Better exit line from the McLaren driver since, as you can see there, Zagdal went over the grass. A bit too greedy on the attack. Definitely better on the braking zones for now. McLaren is one of the most popular cars for now, thanks to the BOP that goes to its favor and to its handling. Aston Martin is a very good contender to that spot. Ooh, there is a contact there. Kotka is off! Oh, multiple cars are off! Javudal and Kotka are both off. Something obviously happened over there. You can see the reason from the helicam. I think, yeah, Javudal made a wrongful braking line and made contact with the driver, now in 19th place. As Giovannini goes for the move number 14 over Sbella. on the outside of his teammate. Oh wait, they are not teammates. Oops. They're clearly not teammates. And in fact, Giovannini takes the place. Number 14 on Sberla. The silver driver has to stay in 15th. Nearly getting attacked by Schneider, which is his actual opponent. Apologies for the mistake, but I've been I kind of misinterpreted the livery, since both of them were black with red accents on the front. And just from the side I understood that it was a bit of a mistake, since they were completely different liveries. Canton over here is the number 96 and trying to get ahead of the grid. But the Pro in 21st place is very, very far away from his next effective competitor, which is in 17th place. As Brown and Gallo are going side by side over the start finish line, with Brown on the left side of the track, which is the outside. He remains in 11th place nevertheless, with Gallo backing down in 12th. Over here the situation remains for now same exact. There's been a good chunk of incidents earlier on that I will try to jump over them after this fight is, I won't say over, but at least when it comes down a bit. Exactly, can be in 4th and 5th. That's overall and in class. Oh, they go side by side with Aston Martin on the inside. Takes the place for a very brief moment. There has been a contact with Sanchez and Canton, and also Bad MC. We'll see what happened after. After, I really think that Garby has very few seconds remaining in 4th place. In fact, it becomes quickly the number 5th. The number 5th, wow. Because quickly the number 5. And he has to stay behind Zach Dahl there. The number 221. Garby is now already battling for place number 5, with Nopek in 6th. And Ulrich following just behind in 7th place, and number 41 BMW. Clearly something happened to Bad MC and a very good chunk of drivers, to be fair. The number 73, which is here. Oh, that 11 car was back into the track and they made contact. That doesn't really help the situation. It was this thing that has happened with the number 96 that gets absolutely demolished on track. The number 11, apologies, with Bad MC that gets hit by the number 96. Then everything went really bad, really quick. With a contact between the two cars over there. And I want also to see the start of the race. There has been multiple. There has been a handful of cars getting involved. Here we go with Manuel Novak at the very start of the race. Ooh, that's a bit of a contact, but that's not really that bad. Then there has been something over here. A 4 cars incident. I wonder what happened. I will never know, I guess. Maybe from here. It's showing there has been an incident, but I can't really see anything. Not really sure what happened there. And just as I notice this, that has happened, there is also a follow-up with another car. Oh, okay, this one here. So it was another contact with, I think, Ramazzotti. It was a Ferrari, so it was the number 1173. Can't really pinpoint who the Ferrari was, unfortunately. Sanchez having a bit of a trouble getting back to the pits. Clearly that there's some damage to his car, I guess. But back for now is very gapped from Garby. I think something clearly happened between the two drivers. I'm seeing effectively some contact that has happened while I was doing the replays. This was the reason. I think there was a contact in the braking point. Oh, you can see that, yeah. It was the McLaren getting hit by behind from Nopek. Then I suspect Nopek waited for Garby, and that's why Ulrich managed to gain position number 5 over the two fighters. It was a bit of a battle for position number 2 in the silver class, with Longden and Brown very close. There's also Smith and Gallo. Following each other in 13th and 12th respectively. Bit of comments for you all for the times that have been set during the last readings. The two leaders are into the high 35s with a 36 or similarly around that number for everybody else behind. The only exception is Zakdal, going for a 45.8 the last lap. Then we start to see the first 37s in 11th place downward. A couple of exceptions, such as Giovannini making a 36.6, but still very much behind the leaders. Ooh, Galamini in the 777 is into the gravel. Something happened to the car that was once in. Oh, there's been also a contact. I think it was. Okay. Oh, that Bimbu was extremely wide. I think the 777 went extremely wide and unfortunately couldn't recover in time. And the other car, it was the BMW of Parks, unfortunately has been involved in the incident. And here there is a bit of a fight for position number 10, which is second in class, with Longden that has to challenge with Brown for that. Oh, there's a bit of contact. In fact, now Smith takes the place on Brown. Can't really see the wing from here. The reason is because the Aston number 738 was ahead for a brief moment, going extremely wide on the braking point and conceding the position number 3 to Smith, with Brown following now in 4th place in class. We got acting as a spectator to the battle, which unfortunately is not really a good thing for him, considering that Giovannini is getting closer and Canabeira is going the other way. So not the best situation for the 444 Porsche. Now in 13th place. Oh, Wegman is off! Something happened to the car number 67 that was very high in the leaderboard. It was in 3rd place. It goes back on track in 8th place. Oh, he put a tire on the grass. And unfortunately, he tries to recover as quick as possible, but that backfired and put him a second behind the leader in silver class, with Canabeira watching from behind. Not a great thing, considering that Wegman was actually one of the only. Oh, Logan is off! Oh, there is a contact, multiple contacts actually, with Smith and Brown switching places, with Gallo actually getting the upper end for a brief moment, but it's actually Giovannini that takes the place on Gallo. Robinson too, with Smith that is possibly waiting, I guess. So suspect something has happened between him and Longden, but Longden is not in the track anymore. I can possibly see back what happened between the 444 and Longden. You can see there. Oh no, there was actually 2 different contacts. So this was a situation from. Okay, wait, because the race control is not helping here. So it was something that had to do with Smith missing completely the braking point, hitting Longden. And then another contact was with Brown, now getting overtaken by Giovannini, going extremely wide for a moment, but that actually helps him, covering on Brown behind. But that doesn't really mean that he keeps the place, since the straight happens and the Ferrari is not really famous for being a beast in the straight line. As a matter of fact, Brown takes back the place even before the turn appears. Oh, extremely wide for Giovannini over the curb, and Gallo takes back the place on the Italian in the 28. With the 444 on the inside, the Ferrari tries to defend the position, but on the outside is very difficult. And not only that, but also Robinson tries to take the place on the 28. But a move from the outside is, especially there, very, very difficult. Nearly impossible. So Gallo stays in 11th place. We're seeing there, I think it is the McLaren of Kotke trying to go around the outside on the Ferrari of Chris Schneider, and he takes the place. He takes the place on Chris Schneider. A very good move from the German driver. He's now in 15th place over Chris Schneider from the outside. And not only that, but only 1 place for now. But Jabdal may decide he has to lose 2 places, even if for now it remains like this, as Bella takes the place of Robinson, because Robinson went into the pits. He is the first driver to do so without damage, and he will try the undercut over every other driver, which is a good move, maybe, since, to be fair, if you are too much behind the pack and you go into the pits, you may as well go back as a lapped car, and you end up losing way much time like this than by going for the overcut. Longden, I'm mistakenly put him out of race. He actually wasn't showing for a moment in my leaderboard. And Javidal made the place on Chris Schneider, so he in fact decided that it had to be 2 places being lost by Chris Schneider. So Longden now only 18th in front of Smith, now in 19th. And as the time passed, for the fact that Wegman is now in 7th place ahead of Zorio, Keenan is getting closer to the car ahead, with Keenan in the 78th, following closely the car in front. The last lap it was basically the same between the two, 36.0. And Jordan also goes into the pits. That's a car number 28. And wait, yeah, I think that's unfortunate. Keenan has crashed in front of our eyes. So he's not anymore in second. He's actually not anymore in the race altogether. And that was your pole sitter and possible protagonist for a battle for the lead. Unfortunately, it will never happen. And unfortunate internet connection issues, which in real life means an engine blown or suspension damage or whatever, electronics. I mean, we saw it during the Daytona 24 hours with number 10 literally shutting off in the middle of the night, or 01, I think, same issues. And unfortunately, just as in real life, even here sometimes the problem happen when you really don't want it. So Keenan will score at 0 after being so close to the lead once more. So Ek now has a 7-second gap to the car behind. For the first time I actually witnessed the car disconnecting altogether from the race. Usually I discover it laps later than when it happens, but for once it happened in front of my eyes. And unfortunately Keenan, pole sitter and former leader of the race, is now out of the race, kind of gifting Ek a possible win without any real contention. Everyone is now going for the undercut, quite rapidly even, since half of the grid went in the pits. 17 are the drivers that still have to make their mandatory pit stop. There isn't a single rule about that in terms of time, but you have to make your changes in the tires. Van Horn showing yellow flags for a moment, but nothing to worry about. So Nopek and Canabera in Pro Class went into the pits. I think the same will be applied to Sberla that goes in the 50 km/h lane. And Longden behind does the same. Extremely unfortunate for the Irish driver. I don't think that Ek will be as sad as him, as he now has enormous advantage over the car behind, and he can do whatever he wants. The current state of the race. Expect he will go for the half mark since he doesn't have to undercut anybody. Jakdal tries to do so, jumping into the pits. Maybe worried about the cars behind that made the choice, especially Nopek since he is the first in Pro Class to have decided to do so. Number 48, 11, oh wait, 9, still now 8. Dura stays out for the moment. Same goes to Schneider and Tremlin. It will be interesting to see Nopek's position at the end of the pit cycle, since he was one of the earliest. No, it was Wegman, apologies, one of the earliest ones. Now lapping the 35.5. Oh wait, that's the best, not the last. I still can't know his lap time. But I can know if he's going quicker than his best lap. No, I can't because till he doesn't really score a lap, I can't really know anything. Which is a bit of a shame. Wegman's pit was also a bit slower than the average. He possibly missed the pit box entirely earlier on. As Nopek is now in front of Garby. So the undercut worked, and Nopek gained the place on the Swedish driver in 221 McLaren. And Wegman is back 6 seconds behind Garby. But the important thing was to be clear of anybody. So he managed to do so. By 6 seconds he has clean air, and he has to at least try to go back to a higher position. For now, 6th in class. I remember that he was in 3rd before his spin, which then became 7th, and it then became 6th as Keenan unfortunately had to quote-unquote retire. Because I still don't know the issue. It was a very odd one. It didn't seem like a disconnection, to be fair. It seems like a game crash for the way it happened. It wasn't the usual disconnection where your car just goes straight over everything. It seemed more like a game crash, to be fair. But as in real life, we will cover that after. Situation a bit tense here. Scott gains the place on Jabudar. He just pitted. Unfortunately, he lost the place on Kotke. Jabudar is now in 16th place behind Kotke, which translates in 4th in class for now. Skrishnoda goes into the pits. Same does Vergoe, and Parks actually goes for a lap more. Wanted to put in check though the situation in the leaderboard. I want to go here. Give me this. as at the moment in the pro class. Oh, that's an overtake for the place. It was actually Robinson making places. I mean, it was Kotka making places on Robinson, now in 15th place. Jodal following and Giovannini just behind. But I think it's not aware. Oh, that mechanic goes wide very, very early. It was Jodal going extremely wide for not really sure the reason there. No contact between the two, but definitely an attack was planned by Robinson. It didn't go to plan, actually it didn't go altogether. It's Jodal that tries the outside on the BMW number 336. As Krishnanda behind is following Novak for the place. You can see on the outside that Novak remained on the outside and he takes the place on Krishnanda that was trying to defend as hard as possible. But with cold tires it becomes a little bit difficult for number 14 that loses the place on Novak in the 22 BMW and maybe, just maybe, even on Brown behind. So Brown remains where he is. As I was trying to scroll into the leaderboard, in Pro Class it's a bit of an odd situation because Nunes is not in the race, not even this one, and Keenan, who had first place in the last round and a second place in the first round, will DNF in this one, and Nopek didn't score a single point in the first round, so for now he may try to go position further up maybe. Giovannini, unfortunately, after the podium in the first race and the multiple spins in Spa, he has to sit behind in 4th, with Garbi now in 5th place. Remember, there is a drop round in the championship, so that's why the last round was a bit difficult to make any championship reading, since I just had the first round, which is worth what is worth, so not really much, since the first round is technically already a drop round. So in this situation we may see Keenan effectively staying on top, well, going on top, with the first and second that he gained, and Nopek possibly following, because now Nopek is in 4th place, and I suspect Garbi will be the next to follow, now in 5th place, when in the last round he made a 3rd in Francorchamps. Ooh, Novak is out? What happened to Novak? Yellow flags being shown. Oh, he went extremely wide there over the grass and lost a couple of places. He lost a place on Brown, Chris Schneider, and Longden. He goes back on track in 19th place, but several seconds have been lost in the procedure. And speaking of Garbi, he tries to go on Ulrich on outside. There was a clear mistake by Ulrich because there were several seconds between him and Garbi. Now there isn't much remaining. We can go for the move once more. Just clear mistake being done. Braking very early for the BMW, going extremely wide also. Oh, it was very close to the curb on inside there. And Garbi made the place. Now in 4th place. So it's clearly a mistake by Ulrich, since I vividly remember that he was way far, in fact, the time is giving me reason to think so. He made a mistake in turn 1, I suspect. We can go for it, now that I think about it. Let's do tack for tack. So this was the reason for it. He was just behind a Ferrari. Very straight. Then I think he got tapped. Yeah, he got tapped by a Ferrari behind. And that tap made Nopek in third. And that was the reason also because Garbi is now in fourth. In fact, I was remembering that Nopek was ahead of Ulrich. Nopek was behind Ulrich. Because he was in fourth. And the car was the number 41? It was a 999. It was Neil Woodward, now sitting in 30th place. I suspect a heavy penalty will go over his name. It's something that can't happen, to be fair. I suspect some heavy penalties on his name. Because a back marker that provokes an incident is personally an extreme no-go for me. You don't really want a back marker to ruin your race. Robinson lost another place. This time it was Jobdal making the move. And now Giovannini sits behind. The BMW number 336. Speaking of silver class, I have here also the silver class standings, with the Mascotke being the very lead of the championship for now. Since in the last round he made the top of the class, now he is in third place. I suspect he will remain where he is, as Jugo is not in the race here, and consider even with Smith pretty much behind. In fourth place in the championship for now, and Bademsi in fifth place with Brown in sixth. Few names missing from this round, very odd. Actually, a lot of names missing, to be fair. Speaking of Smith and Brown, I think there is some beef that is getting cooked here, with Smith going several tenths slower than Brown behind. 36.4 has been the last and the best lap by Smith. Brown, on the other hand, made a 36.1, and it's not even his best lap, so I suspect there will be a change in the placement. But that's actually due to the fact that Brown had to stay still way more seconds than everybody else. Nearly 10 seconds more in the pits, possibly for some damage or of some sort. There's also a bit of a fight going on up here with Korke and Sberla. I'm very interested about the position number 2 in the silver class. As Longden is still here. Okay, so I saw longer than going for a moment in 8th place. I'm really curious on how it would have been possible, but still I had to check. just to be safe. And these drivers here, I don't think Osorio will be in any way reachable, since he has a 15-second gap on the Gallo. Nearly 16 now. I suspect the lead is not really in their plans. The second place is definitely an issue that has to be dealt with Sbella Korke. And now Jabudal getting very, very quick, very, very rapidly. 35.992. Best and last lap, and his times at the moment are reflecting the same as the top. Just outside the top 6. The top 6 is in a 35.5, sort of, half-ish. And Jabudal is the only one, apart from the top 6, to be even able to go into the 35. So for now his times are rapid and definitely helping his situation. As Giovannini loses the place on Smith. Bit of an aggressive move by the 990, considering they are not in the same class, but definitely Smith is using Giovannini more as an obstacle for Brown than anything else. Brown's last lap was a bit of a terrible lap, 36.7, considering his best is a 35.9. And now 37.2, so definitely a lot of mistakes have been made in these 2 laps by Brown. Now 4 times behind Giovannini, but actually a second and something away from his opponent in 14th place. Bit of an information up ahead also, because Garbi lost 5 times on Ulrich in just 80 seconds of lap. I suspect a mistake has been done. In fact, now the gap has been reduced to less than a second back again, but I don't really think that something will happen at the moment, since that McLaren there was clearly a bit... well, certainly after the incident, it clearly is slightly faster than the BMW behind in the 41 machinery. That is yet to be seen. And at the moment I'm extremely... okay. My position on my chair is terrible. I think if a doctor could see how I'm sitting right now, he would scream in pain. I have the legs where they shouldn't be, so okay, good on me. And so the moment there are 2 different fights ongoing. Garbi and Ulrich in the upper end of the leaderboard. In the middle part of it there is a triple-way fight for the second place in class. And then there is Brown here going for a move outside. Oh, there is a contact! There is another double contact, and Schneider goes by, missing the situation narrowly. We can go back to the splitter cam. You can see up ahead, the Ferrari is on the inside. I think Brown closed the door a bit quickly. Oh, just narrowly misses. The Aston Martin now in nowhere. I think he retired from the race. And as I said earlier, yes, I have to shut up. Garbi is now getting attacked heavily by Ulrich, bump drafting in the turn number 14, the Swedish driver. That's for NASCAR, but I think it can apply even here. Oh, that Beamer is very quick on the straight. That Beamer is extremely quick on the straight, but it's not so good in the braking point. As you can see, he had to brake slightly earlier than the McLaren. Although the BMW was in the slipstream, so more speed, but still, it puts a bit of an advantage on the McLaren driver that now has to go away as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he may miss on the 4th. Oh, that's extremely wide. Actually, it may be the line depending on the setup, but since the first time I see Garby doing that line, I don't think it was the line. Because yes, you can go for a V line, but that means that your setup is very stiff. And your differential is blah 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 blah. Things that I also do not know perfectly, and whichever thing I say is going to be very likely completely wrong. But anyway, I take a moment to just say thank to all of the people that are watching the stream at the moment. And if you like what you're seeing, you can also be what you're seeing, since you can be in the races over here. There are a bit of one-offs coming across, and there are also the championships still open, where Schneider and Giovannini are battling for the 15th place. And also, I don't know what is happening. Wegman is into the pits? What? How? What happened? What did I miss? So there was a contact. I look away from for a moment, and something happened with the number 333, of which I have no idea. Could I see what happened there? Okay, it was a back mark. Oh, it was... I honestly want to check what happened. I'll be honest, I really want to check what happened. Was that delivered contact? Okay, something clearly happened there. Something clearly happened there between the 333 and the 67. That's very odd. Unfortunately, I can't go back precisely on time, but I'm very curious to know what happened between the two, because now he's not in the race anymore, so clearly something huge has happened. The race control is not showing anything over that situation, so I don't, obviously, I don't know anything, so it could as well be just an issue in the steering wheel or in the game, since I'll admit a couple of days ago I had my game going to 1 FPS for 20 seconds straight, and I couldn't really be sure what was happening. So it could also be something on the same region, but it was a very odd thing that has happened. Obviously the race control will be aware of that after the race. Meanwhile, here's Bella and Gallo and Kotke and Jabudal. So all four are battling for the very same position, the number 8 overall. William McLaren, number 68 on the outside, and same goes for the number 531 that goes in the inside. It's the opposite way around for Jabudal. It goes on the outside, it tries to take the place as Bella made on Gallo. There is a bit of a contact between two McLaren here with Jabudal on the inside. They are very similar. I apologize for mixing the two. With Kotke on the outside, this time I'm sure about that. And the green McLaren of Jabudal goes on the outside. So the other outside, because now it's a left-hander. Oh, the rear was not really happy about that. And the 531 has to stay behind the 802. Maybe. I'm not really sure at this point. So Gallo stays behind the 68 of Bella. And Jabudal stays also behind Kotke. He tried on the inside of turn 1. It was not outside, apologies. Just mixed the two cars, and it was a very good defending by Kotke, but it's still not over yet. He goes for the inside. He tries to go for the move. There isn't enough space. He leaves. Kotke leaves the room just barely for it to not be an issue. But it clearly... Oops, apologies. It clearly is obvious who is the fastest of the two drivers. In fact, Jabudal goes on the inside this time earlier than earlier on. Sorry for the wordplay. But maybe too early. He doesn't have the straight line speed to make it happen, and he stays behind. Meanwhile, here is the opposite way around, with Smith going on inside of Robinson, takes the place number 12 for a brief moment. And that brief moment actually becomes the moment. So Smith is now in 12th place, with Robinson that has to sit behind and losing another place. And going in... Oh, wait, there's Smith going on the grass! So he will go wide on the left-hander and loses the place, number 12. So Robinson is back at least in 12th overall. It doesn't change anything in class, but he at least has a position more in total standings. Which makes sense for the license. And, well, just that, to be fair. Meanwhile, up ahead, it's still Kotke. Remains the very top of the two. The slipstream is going to be way more useful, but there isn't enough space. I'm suspecting, okay, I'm not really suspecting, I think it is like this, that Kotke has a slightly less wing value than Jaudal, since the 531 didn't make a single move in the gap while in the slipstream, and also because Jaudal is getting extremely close in the technical sections, so I really suspect the setup is a bit more loose on the German side. Possibly he thought about this possibility, and he chose to sacrifice a bit of downforce to have more in straight, which clearly is paying off. You can see how close Jaudal becomes in the turns, but now back into the straight, you can clearly see from here the two drivers are one after the other. But as soon as he goes into the slipstream, he's just barely getting anything. This is actually a clever idea from Kotke. I'm sure about it now. It's certain. It's clear that the McLaren ahead has a tiny less downforce, and you can see there it was extremely more on point. Jaudal goes on the inside in 531 goes in 10th place. I can't really see from this camera. We go from this one here. He goes on the grass, touches the grass barely, but he made the move way earlier than Kotke expected. So next target has the name of Simone Sberla, and in the middle there is Kiko Gallo. So 3 seconds is the gap between Jaudal and Sberla, and the car is in the middle, and he just has, okay, maybe I am trying a bit too hard. I'll be honest. I don't think anything can happen there, but something can happen here because Kotke effectively has the straight line advantage, and he is now behind. So now it's just a matter of time before what I think will happen over the straight. And now there is an issue. Look how fast he's reaching. I was right, but I think Jaudal just made enough to stay in front. Yes, in fact, it's actually Kotke that went a little bit slower in the exit of the last turn, and as such he had to stay behind after all. As we go in the final 2 laps of the race, with Ek still leading by a whole chunk of time, 12 seconds to be exact. I think over here it is over. It's not the same over here though, with Smith and... Okay, someone went extremely wide there. Smith went a bit too much deep into the brakes, lost a bit of contact with Robinson, and as a compensation he is now closer to another car. Unfortunately, it's the car that he doesn't want to be close to. Krishna is just behind him in 14th place, in the number 14. Oh, that's a bit of a jump over the curb inside. For now, the situation remains the same. Smith still trying maybe to get the position on Robinson, but that BMW for now is clearly up ahead without any particular trouble. Also, someone that is not in any particular trouble, he hasn't been in any particular trouble for several laps to be fair, is the car number 51. White flag, brought to you by Pursim Gear. As a reminder, that Pursim Gear not only is the sponsor, but also will be giving some prizes to the winner in Pro and Silver class. To be a discount on gloves for both classes. To be exact, it will be a gloves plus socks coupon for Pro and Silver Pro gloves coupon only. But here it is, the leader of the race. He has been in the lead for practically the entirety of the race. He has the fastest lap of the race, 35.030. And he has a 12-second advantage over everyone behind. And his only opponent has blown up in the middle of the race for unknown reasons. I could check this code to be fair. But it's going to be Benjamin Eck that in the number 51 Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2 completes the race in first place. And that's your winner for the round 3 at Indianapolis. And 12 seconds behind is Zach Dahl in second place. The 331 Aston Martin with Nopek, the BMW 48. And I think it's going to be second in the championship with Garvey, and then Ulrich behind, then Canabera in the 193 Porsche. Just times away from your winner in silver class, Sergio Osorio in the 503, 17 second gap in the silver class, so the silver class runner-up, so the same as Pro, and Osorio is your winner for Indianapolis, with Sbedla following 17 seconds behind in the number 68 McLaren, with Gallo that barely manages to stay in front of Jabral and Kotke, with Robinson 5 seconds behind him, 56. And then there is Smith, Chris Schneider, with Tremlin, Longden, unfortunately only 17th, after a few issues into the race. Then it's going to be Brown and Novak. There has been actually an overtake. I'm sure there has been an overtake. between the two drivers. I just want to check it though. Maybe like this. There's clearly been an overtake over here. Oh, it was a chance to try an overtake from the outside. But he went on the grass and couldn't make the place on Brown. So this was tonight's race. Next time we're going to Bathurst, the most beautiful track in the world. In terms of streets. Okay, street circuit is very much a stretch, I know. But it is technically a street circuit. We're going for Bathurst and it's going to be 90 minutes. So be sure to check it out live. Then it's going to be Silverstone, Valencia and Imola completing your championship. But for tonight, I'm Cristian Romano. It has been a pleasure doing the commentary for tonight's Indianapolis. Be sure to check next week for Bathurst and this Saturday for the 4-hour at Donington, because yes, there is an endurance race coming across on Donington for 4 hours, and I will be covering the last 2 hours. I can't remember who will do the first bit, to be fair, but nevertheless, check it out from the start to the finish. Until then, see you next time. Bye!